Yeah.
Welcome to Maximize Your Potential with Dan and Lance. I'm Dan,
I'm Lance.
and this has been a long time coming, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
man, yeah.
We've had this idea for a while. Finally got the studio up and going.
Yeah,
with, with,
man.
with, with a few obstacles. Well,
Yeah,
more than a few obstacles, but
man, more than a few. We had quite a few, man. It was I would say we went through four contractors.
yeah, man, four
contractors.
contractors.
Yeah.
And finally had to do sweat equity, so painting and putting everything up ourselves.
Yeah.
But
that was a pretty dope experience, man. Honestly, because I don't get a chance to get my hands dirty too much.
right.
Working in home loans, working in mortgages, I'm usually behind my laptop.
Yeah.
On the phone all the time.
Me too. Yeah.
But even when I got something going on at the house, man, it's like, all right, who's the handyman I can call?
Yeah.
Who can I pick up the phone and get over here so I don't have to spend time doing this thing myself, man? But it was a good lesson in how to paint,
Right,
how to
how to paint.
hang panels, get lighting, camera angles, all those different
Yeah.
things, man. So when you really sit back and look at it, man, we really did more than just paint a space. We actually built a set.
Yeah, built the whole set, man.
Built the set, man.
Yeah. A lot of YouTube. Look, thanks out to what you guys. Some of you guys might know my cameraman Daniel. He had a lot to do with this as well, helping us put all of our
Absolutely.
equipment
Yeah.
and stuff like that together. But as far as sweat equity, man, we put it in. We
Yeah.
put it in. So I know a lot
Yeah.
of y'all think that I may not be the type of guy to say I should get my hands dirty. Well, my guy right here is vouching for me. We
We did it, man.
we made it happen. We made it happen.
Yeah, we did it.
But what is this channel about? I'm gonna speak a little bit on it. Of course, Lance's gonna speak a little bit on it. But
Yeah.
I'm a realtor. Been in this space, full-time realtor now for close to about 7 years. But as a whole, this channel, Maximize Your Potential, is going to be helping anyone watching this channel to level up no matter what, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
all areas basically of your life. That's what this channel is geared for.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And so I think one of the things that really motivated us to get this going, man, is because, with you, I know you already have a pretty big presence online. People see you. But one of the biggest things is we thought it was important people see the other side of you. And I think that's important for me as well, because I do a lot of the work behind the scenes. A lot of my real estate agent friends, one of the themes among our conversations is mortgages are not sexy. This is not something that people run to me for and they're excited to talk to me about. So I think it's important for people to see the other side of me as well. So like you said, man, we'll definitely be talking about things, leveling up financially, leveling up spiritually, mentally. I myself am a family man, so it's important for me to kind of share my failures and successes as a family man as well. I've been married almost 17 years now, man, 2 kids,
Nice.
9-year-old, 11-year-old at home. So, that's a mission in itself. All of that while holding down a career is definitely a feat not to be taken lightly. So
Yeah,
people need to understand that, we're going to have our challenges. We're going to have our difficult days, those days in the dark. But ultimately, we all can still work to maximize our potential no matter what capacity we're talking about, man. So,
I like it. Yeah.
For me, I didn't grow up here in Dallas, but Dallas is the place that I call home now. I really love it here, man, to be honest with you. Dallas is probably one of the best cities that I've been to in the U.S. Truthfully, and it's not just because of what I do for a living, but I definitely want to speak to that. As a mortgage loan officer, as a mortgage broker, it's been critical to my success, this particular region of the United States. And I'm sure you can speak to that as well. I know you're not from Dallas originally. You grew up in Chicago, right?
Grew up,
right?
born and raised
so
Chicago.
what brought you to Dallas, man? What's the story
Man,
behind that?
listen, I came to Dallas. It was an accident, really, man.
Wow.
I mean, it was an accident, really.
Yeah.
Was a loan officer for many years. That's when I came here. But anyway, I was working with a bank, had a contract going on, and it was in Tampa for a little bit, about 6 months. Went to San Jose for a little while. But a friend of mine named Jason, shout out to Jason. Jason was encouraging me to come visit Dallas. I'm like, man, I ain't going to Dallas like we're Cowboys and all that of stuff. Like, I'm a city
thinking
boy.
It's cows and it's pastures and the country.
This Dallas ain't for me.
Right.
So, but no, ended up coming down here, visiting, and my eyes were open. Like, man, Dallas is kind of like back in '02 was kind of like best kept secret. It's not so much secret now.
Right.
But best kept secret, man, with employment, cost of living was really, really cheap. For good living at that. So, man, I took a leap of faith, man. Keisha, who's really good, still friend of mine, her and her husband, awesome people, man. I came down here and was on her couch, man, for 2 weeks. Was on her couch just grind out. Me and my friend Neil, man. Neil came down as well. We grinded it out, got some job offers, and I was like, man, let me see if we can get a place, because I had like, I think at that time I had a little money, not even a lot. I think I had like $5,000 saved. I barely had no money.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I wonder, I don't got that much money, so I'm wondering, can we get a crib? Ended up getting a house with our offer letter, man. They accepted our offer letter and gave us a 3-level townhome, 2-car garage in Plano.
Wait, so no job yet? No job yet?
We had a job offer.
So you hadn't even got a paycheck yet.
Man, I ain't got a paycheck. So I paid the first month's rent deposit. We halved on that. And I was like, listen, I don't got a job. I got a job, but we haven't worked yet. Here's my offer letter. We in sales, so we finessed it.
Yeah.
And man, they gave us the keys, man.
Right.
They asked upper management. Upper management said, yeah, the lady, I forgot her name, vouched for us. And man, the rest is history, man.
Yeah.
So I knew that was kind of like God's gift of saying this is kind of where you need to be at.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, that's how I ended up in Dallas, man.
You know what's funny, man? Sometimes, you end up kind of sliding your way into something rather smoothly. I think my story is a little bit different.
Yeah.
I definitely had a rough path to Dallas. Yeah. What's crazy, man, is so I was originally raised in Louisiana, a city called Kenner, Louisiana, right outside of New Orleans. Many people might be familiar with that area. Well, August 27th, 2005, everything was normal. I'm going into the office, working, doing my thing. We start seeing news about a hurricane coming.
Oh,
the big one, man, the big one. So the hurricane's coming. And this is normal life for us in Louisiana, man. It's like, all right, well, if it's coming, we could either decide to stay, hang out, just ride this thing out. Or if it's bad, then we'll just drive to Texas or Mississippi or something, the next state over. Yeah. And just kind of ride the storm out in the next state over. Well, as the news is going on and on, it's just they're talking about how bad this thing is going to be. August 28th comes, the day before the storm. I'm like, all right, man, so I need to make a decision. So I'm like, all right, well, I pack up a few friends in the car. Shout out to Dre, Nick.
Nick,
Stanley,
shout out to Nick.
A couple of my people, man. So we jump in the car. We're like, all right, man, we're just going to go to Houston. So I packed a bag for about 2 days. You know what I mean? I got 2 days worth of stuff. I go to Houston. Long story short, man, this wasn't one of them turnarounds. You know what I mean? I was in Houston. I was stuck in Houston. Because the storm had completely destroyed the New Orleans metro area, man. A lot of people know about the tragedies that occurred with Katrina, man. But as a result of all of that, it's crazy how you talk about faith, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes, man, God will shake things up for you, so you ultimately end up somewhere else, but you don't see it as it's happening.
Right.
But looking back on that, man, had it not been for that storm, had it not been for all those crazy things that happened, I wouldn't be here sitting with you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I would not know D Hunt. I would not know a lot of the great real estate agents, professionals. Man, I've met everybody in Dallas, man. You talk about every level of professional, from physicians to engineers to real estate agents, loan officers. Shout out everybody in the mortgage business, man. Because I had just got into the mortgage business in March 2005. Well, August 2005, my life completely changed. I thought I was going to be working in that office where I was for years. I was with a company called First LC Financial. And I got into that business, man, just because I was working hard doing something else. And I say that to say, man, you never really know who's watching you do the work that you're doing. Yeah. And they have a plan for you in their mind. And sometimes that plan,
you don't even know it yet.
And you don't even know it yet. You have no idea that people are watching you work hard. And they're thinking to themselves, man, how can I partner with this person?
I'm a kind of pivot off that. Lance had reached out to me beforehand some years ago, maybe.
Man, years ago, man.
Years ago.
Well, we've always kind of, had these ideas we've thrown and bounced off of each other, So, yeah.
But me having, we'll get more into that later, me having a loan officer background, I won't say any names because we don't want to put them out there, but the particular company he worked for, I already knew his work ethic.
Yeah.
I knew the standard of work and integrity that Lance stands by. But, I came to him straight like, hey, man, I can't fool with you because you work with such and such and such. And me being a loan officer and an underwriter, I know the obstacles that you can't control.
Yeah.
Working with Chase and also Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
So, but I always had in the back of my mind that if things were to change, this is a brother that I wouldn't mind doing something like this with.
Yeah.
So he didn't even know that, you know, it was in the back. It's always been in the back of my mind that I would do something like this, like a podcast. Because I've always wanted to have a podcast. He's had his idea. I've had his idea. We didn't know what the name was going to be and maybe the concept, but I knew that this was something that I wanted to do because, you know, putting yourself out there, you know, creating trust through influence in this day and time is vital. I mean, it's vital.
It's
you know,
critical.
I mean, the days of just kind of just,
Yeah.
you know, sending out mailers or whatever like that, those are slowly but surely declining. So when he reached out, I was like, hey, man, let's do it. Cool, no problem. But yeah, I mean, I'm just piggybacking kind of what you said.
Yeah.
People can have an idea. That's why, you know, I always in classes, different seminars that I talk with, continue to put yourself out there. You never know who has a plan or who may want to level up with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And a good friend of mine, man, named Bavu, we talk all the time. And one of the themes of our conversations, man, is always go outside.
Yeah.
We say that all the time. And so what we mean by that is, man, people need to see your face. You need to be out doing the work.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of the environment now has shifted to these stay-at-home jobs and things like that, which is great for people in their lifestyles and it can be convenient, but don't forget to go outside, man.
Man, that's a good
Yeah.
don't forget to go outside. And reason being is I don't have a college degree. I don't have a college degree.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Okay. I don't have a college degree. Went to went to college for a semester. And I'll never forget, I asked my history, which, you know, college is great for, depending on what you are going there for.
Right.
But in my opinion, you know, business management, what I was going for, it wasn't cut out for me.
Yeah.
So I remember asking it was a social studies teacher at that time. It was just a filler class I had to get. And I asked him how much he made. And I was like, man, I made that halfway through the year selling cars at Jacob's Twin Auto Plaza. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, this ain't it. I really don't want to be here.
Right.
So long story short, I left. But I say to say this, every job that I've had since I can say probably mid-20s for sure, I've made anywhere between maybe 60 to 100,000. Okay, 60 to 100,000 working a job at that time. Outbeating a lot of people with degrees.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Outbeating a lot of my friends who had degrees, associates who had degrees, from things that we're going to talk about, being willing to go outside.
Yeah.
It's really about who you know, networking, presenting yourself as a brand so you can influence the individual on the other side of the desk to give you a job. You know what I mean? So it's the things you don't learn in school that are important in the real world. And that's why, man, it's important.
Yeah.
You got to go outside.
And one of the things that school cannot teach you work ethic, man.
Yeah.
School cannot teach you hard work.
Yeah.
That's got to be either in you or not in you. You know what I mean? And so that's ultimately how I ended up in the mortgage business, man. I was selling cell phones after I graduated from high school. I was working for a little small regional cell phone company called Alltel. A friend of mine, shout out Antoine, a good friend of mine came by one night. So the way we used to do it, man, we had retail stores and then we had little kiosks that we would set up in Walmarts. All right. And so the kiosks that we can set up in Walmart, we could be there anytime. Right, so that's basically an invitation to me, like, oh, I can come anytime and make some money. All right, let me pull up there, and I'm coming make some money. So I'm in there, man, like midnight one night, selling cell phones. I'm talking about I'm in there walking around the store, getting people to come to the booth. You know, man, as a young, just enthusiastic man.
So you at midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes,
people are still in the store. What store was this?
This was in a Walmart. So the name of the cell phone company was
The Good Days
Alltel.
was open 24 hours.
Yes. So this was before you know they COVID and all this other stuff, right? This is in 05, man. So we're talking about 24-hour Walmart supercenters, right?
Okay.
So they have Alltel is the name of the company. So I set up the kiosk in Alltel. I'm walking around selling phones. A good friend of mine walks by. He's like, bro, you selling cell phones at midnight? Man, you need to come work with me, man. He was a loan officer. Okay. So he was in the mortgage business. He's like, bro, if you got this kind of hustle, if you working like this, man, you make a killing doing what I'm doing.
Right.
And I'm just hearing them talking, man. You know how you listen to somebody, everybody want to brag about how much they making and this and that, man. So you kind of like, all right, I hear you. And so I never even fathomed at that time because I was kind of fresh out of high school, man. I was 19. I never really fathomed at that time what real money looked like, man. I was really just trying to get enough money to go out, have fun with my friends. I wasn't really of a very mature mindset at that point, you know. But through those years, man, ultimately he got me a job with a company called First and LC Financial. I became the youngest branch manager in the history of the company. I was 20 years old running a branch.